a lot of times you'll need accountability, because you can say you're going to do something, but then it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, and before you know it, it's next year and you haven't made any progress.
Right. What's up, everyone? Do you know when to walk away? Because you need to. We're going to talk about that today. We're also talking about marketing, and we're going to talk about defining success. My name is Todd. I'm here with my wife and business partner, Jen. What's up, Jen?
Hello.
Trying to bring the energy. We're recording at a weird hour we don't normally record at. So let's see how this goes. Before we start, we want to let you know this episode is brought to you by our friends at Ping Pong Design and Marketing. If you want to love your website again, or you're looking for more clients to fill your chairs, Ping Pong wants to make the internet a better place with websites and marketing campaigns that inform and convert. That's their mission.
Ping Pong.
Ping Pong, there it is. So Ping Pong's offering our audience a special discount on any website or marketing campaign. So visit the show notes, reach out to Chris. He's awesome. And talk to him about your needs. It's not just for hair pros, but the entire health, beauty, fitness industries. And now on to the show. So we're going to dive into walking away, right? And I can't help but think of Kenny Rogers constantly when I was writing the show notes.
Is there a song you sing that's about walking away?
Yeah, The Gambler.
Oh.
You gotta know when, hold on.
Gotcha.
I don't remember the words, but it's gotta know when to walk away.
Yeah.
Know when to
all
run.
right, I gotcha.
You never count. We can keep going or not.
I mean, maybe it's enjoyable for some.
I doubt it. I don't think I can sing. I've never heard myself, but I will after this.
I'm
also not trying.
Everybody comment below. How is Todd singing?
No, don't comment. Come on,
let's do this.
All right, so we're talking about walking away. So we talk about creating opportunities and positioning yourself all the time, right? Because it's important. You never know what opportunity or what situation is going to present itself next. Mm-hmm. So our approach has always been put yourself in the position to receive all of it.
Right. We take all meetings and take all opportunities that are presented to us. It doesn't mean that we follow through on all of them, meaning they all become something we do today, but we'll hear people out and we'll at least engage in what the offering could be or what's happening, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So
and really for us, it's about building relationships too.
Well, that's the thing. You never want, don't burn the relationship. Mm-hmm.
Or make a new one, because you never know where that could go in the future. Right.
Exactly. But it is important to understand that you can't jump on every opportunity. It's impossible.
No.
So, quick example, something that we need to start tracking better, because we're in a different situation than we were. We were tracking it, and then we kind of fell short a little bit, I feel. But donating. So, for example, what?
I heard footsteps.
Oh, that's because we live in a house with other tiny people, and they're all walking around.
True.
Okay, so moving on. Donating. While I wish I had enough money to save the world's richest people don't have enough money to save the world.
Right.
So recognizing that means that we have to figure out what our budget is to donate every year. And then we need to figure out our causes or
what's most important to us,
organizations that we align with. And we have a few,
Yep.
And then we can really help people through those channels.
Correct.
But
because
if I say yes to everyone, we get phone calls all the time, random stuff, people that don't frequent our business. And you don't have to come to our business for us to care about your cause. That's not what I'm saying. But we get cold calls all the time. Of, hey, can you give us a gift basket? Or, hey, can you do this? Or, hey, can you write us a check? And if I did that for everyone, I could give everyone a 50-cent check. And that helps it doesn't do anything. So I want to have some sort of an impact.
Yeah. And so it goes back to the mission, core values. Does that
true
business,
story. Yeah,
right?
Always.
That's coming in and asking for a donation. Does it work with what you're doing? Because those all should align. The things that you pick, that needs to be part of what you're a part of, in my opinion.
Agreed 100%. So I think the first point I want to make on the sort of knowing when to walk away is the importance of the pause. We talk about that a lot too, right? So you have to pause and give yourself time to think.
Absolutely.
Because no matter what
it's not easy. Well, it's not easy for me to do.
No, I don't know that it's easy for anyone, because there's always this level of fucking excitement, right? You have an opportunity that presents itself and you're like, wow, I'm in this position. And you want to tell your family, you want to tell your friends, you want to tell your clients, you want to tell your coworkers, you want to tell your staff, whoever, right? Well, listen, that's not right. That's not the way to go about it, though.
No, you look like a spaz. Done that many a times.
Well, you look like many of times. You look like a spaz, but also, right? You might not take that opportunity, or things might not work out or align or whatever. And now you're the person that's always doing stuff but never does anything.
Right, your follow through is
so, and we know those people, right? Yeah. Not specific, but that sort of archetype.
And it's easy to be excited. Like somebody presents something to you.
You should, but it's your excitement. So you need to hold on to it and wait to see if it fizzles or if it ignites something in you, or even makes sense monetarily. Who knows? Like,
I've had opportunities come to me that I just feel so flattered that I was thought of, that I feel like I'm meant to do it, or I'm supposed to say yes. And then I feel this like level of guilt or letdown because I did my research, followed through, and I'm like, this is just not for me, or not for Hello. It's happened at my last business, happened at this business. And then I feel bad because there's people maybe that are surrounding this opportunity because it would give them different opportunities. And yet I'm like,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
This one's just not on the cards. Not today. I don't know where the future goes, but not for today. But a lot of times I feel so flattered that I just want to like do it. And then I almost want everyone's opinion. Like, what would you do? What would you do? And that's the worst place to go with that, because their opinion, even though I may want to hear it, like the decisions I make don't really affect them on that. So I need to make them first for the mission, the core values, and all of those things, and do those align. And, you know, if we go through with it and we're doing it, then it's like, okay, here we are. We've arrived. We're doing these things, and that's what we're doing. But
exactly. Agreed. 100%. So I want to run through this real quick before we jump into like a little mini story. So you have to, I think, so you're in business or whatever. You don't even have to be in business. So if something presents itself, you have an opportunity. Say it's a new job. Who knows? Mm-hmm. You've got to pause first. And during that pause time, you need to think about certain things. And you brought up core values and all that stuff. Great place to start. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you need to work through, how does this fit into your life? And
right.
Is there a monetary investment? If it's a new job, do you have to relocate? I don't know this scenario, so I can't say for certain, but
you have to lay it all out.
Yeah, you'll have to lay that stuff out. While you're doing that, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
For the love of all that is fucking good, keep it to yourself.
That's a learn I just came into this last like year or 2 or 3. Recently. That can be recently, I guess. But yeah, keep it to yourself, or I keep it to my small.
Did something happen specific?
Very small circle
that people want to hear about that are listening, or you have a story?
Well, not one. I mean, I have billions of stories.
Billions, huh? But I don't think you know how big a billion is.
Well, I've been around a long time.
Not a billion's worth.
All right, I got hundreds of I got thousands. I'm in the thousand range. I don't know. Think about it this way. For those of you who do know me or know my story, like I had come into an idea of where I wanted to leave my last salon, right? And it's funny because it's a joke sometimes that even our new staff doesn't like, they know my story, but not really. But they'll be like, well, you can't quit your own salon. And then I'm always joking like, sure you can. Well, you can, because I did. And they're like, oh shit, yeah, you did. But either way.
Quit anything.
In the process of realizing that my time had been coming to an end at that salon, I could have told the world, told my staff, asked everybody their input or what have you. And I didn't. I actually, Todd and I actually headed away that weekend. And I think if any of you know me also, I speak. I never stop speaking. I think I spoke like 5 words that whole weekend. I feel like
she's not lying.
I barely talked at all. I was so internalizing everything and really coming to my own opinion or my own kind of awakening of what I wanted to do. And I could have asked Todd's opinion or my sister's opinion, my dad's opinion. I was with them that weekend. But I'm like, it's not theirs to opinionate on. It's mine. I've got to come to where I sit and what I want out of this next venture, or my current one. And then go to who I needed to, which was Todd, of like, here's where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking. And, you know, he gave me his advice. And then I came back with, well, I've been thinking about it. He's like, I know, I'm already aware of like, you're like where you were this week. And in a sense that it was a big thought process for you. But rather than share it all and get everybody's opinion, which just, I didn't need, I needed to take a minute and really think for myself of what I wanted out of my life and my future, and then present it to the people that were most important, or in this case, just to you. But
yeah, I think so. The problem becomes that not only, like I joked around earlier about you become the person that's always up to stuff but never does anything, or whatever I said, right? It was probably a cool quote. You should write it down. But whatever. So not only that, but people's opinions. So you're excited about something, you share it with a family member and they go, what the fuck would you do that for? And then it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And it might be a great opportunity, but now you're second guessing it because of someone else's inability to see through your eyes. But what do you expect? No one can see through your eyes.
Right.
Even us, we've been married for a while. What, 14 years?
A billion.
A billion. Should have known that was coming. So we've been married for like 14 years and we've been together for a long time.
Yeah, 20 something plus.
And I pretty much know what you're thinking or around or what you're thinking about, but I still don't see your life through your eyes. Right. It's impossible. We're human, so that's a restriction, right? All right, so don't advertise, don't tell anyone, you know, until you've taken the appropriate amount of time to think things through. And that's going to depend. Some things could be like, I need 24 hours. And some things could, like, you might be thinking for 6 months, 9 months, a year. I don't know. Yeah,
my thought had been on happening for years, but somehow that weekend really started.
Just kind of came together.
But kind of like you said, like, I could have shared it thinking that people would be like, oh my gosh, Shan, like I could see you walking, I could see you moving in this path.
Yeah, because that's what we want. That's what we expect.
But if they had done the opposite, like, what the fuck, Jen, why would you be thinking that? Then I'm in a situation where I might have changed my whole thought process or my whole path. And that's just not what I would have needed. Right. But wouldn't be what I was expecting.
Right. So we were recently presented with an opportunity to purchase a business. Okay. And it's a big business. Yeah, it
was a really exciting opportunity.
A very, very exciting opportunity. So the first thing that we did was nothing. So you and I was presented with the opportunity. I got a phone call. I was presented with the opportunity and I said, you know what? Give me a day. So I sat on it. I talked to you. And I said, let's take a day and figure out what to do from there.
Right.
So we decided to move forward and make a phone call. So I make the phone call and we're presented with an opportunity to have a meeting at this point. So at this point I say, okay, I accept the meeting. So we take the meeting. So we meet in person with the current business owner and we work through, I don't know, a lot of stuff, right? We got
exhausting amount of stuff.
Yeah, we got a tour of the business. We got a breakdown of how things look day to day, how things look week to week, month to month, year to year. And in this case, it was decade to decade, right? So it's a business that's been around for quite a while. And at some point, maybe we can share. We were asked to sort of keep things confidential. Yes. So we're going to honor that because that's how we are. Okay, so monetarily, the price was pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
But when we looked at the business over the next few days, we realized it wasn't what we would want it or what we would expect something to look like if we were going to put our names on it.
If somebody wanted to buy it as is and just operate it as is with a twist, probably cool. Really smart play. But I woke up that next morning and was like, Todd, we have so much work to do. If it's our brand, us, like what we offer, the integrity, the innovation we stand behind, I'm like, this would be a lot.
Agreed.
And I didn't feel like it would do what we wanted it to do, in my opinion.
Not as it sat currently, but that was the issue. So yeah, you can have a business that can be a great business. Someone asks you to purchase it. But so for me, what I got hung up on was the time component. So I looked at it and I was like, this is realistically speaking, this is 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years project. And I just didn't want to take that on. I think at this point, with what we have going on with Hello Hair Co., our salon business, and what we have going on expanding Hello Hair Pro, if we're going to take something else on, I'm at the point where, for me, and I'm sort of going off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's my story, it's my podcast, so I get to do that. I think it would be time for something a little more passive that I don't have to be in every day.
Well, something would have had to sacrifice. And for those of you who don't know, we also have 3 children.
Let me get a laundromat. let me just go collect the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something really, and because of our passion and things, it wasn't something we could just like put our name on and like just be like, yeah, this will be cool for a while. We'll get to it in a little bit. Like it just.
No, it needed immediate.
We stand for integrity. It just wouldn't have.
It needed immediate attention.
An immediate overhaul.
And like I do some freelance work. I do some creative things that I really enjoy doing, some writing and things like that. All that stuff would have had to go away.
Yeah. Lots of things that
there would have been 3 to 5 years of sacrificing.
So when you talk about like when you need to realize when to say no, I think it took only a few days, and it was just, we both arrived at like something I really thought I was going to be all in, like, let's do this. And I'm like, this is a no for me right now. I can't.
Yeah.
And it actually, cool part of that was it did make me reevaluate some of the other things that are important to me that I could sink my heart into and do it a way that I want to do it and I'm in control of it and have say on and can really
influence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, influence. Influence in the way that I want to, and for the future of this
After
industry. Influence.
20. Actually, you know what? We've been together as long as you've been doing hair.
Yeah, which is like 23 years.
23 years. Cool. All right. So put yourself in the constant position to be around opportunities, but understand how to say no. Because if you say yes to everything, you're going to last about a week. And have things that are just going to bog you down for the next few years.
Or you're not doing anything really well.
That's
right?
A whole other issue, yeah. I think that goes back to, and I don't want to get too crazy because I want to move on, but that goes back to people thinking that expanding will solve their problems. Like, this business isn't doing well if I could make it bigger.
Right.
No,
not
don't
always,
make it bigger. No. So now your problems, instead of, $2,000 a month you have to come up with, it's $100,000 a month you have to come up with, right? Don't do that. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about some marketing.
Okay. This is a subject that has always been rough for me.
All right.
I'm not good at marketing. I
think you're better than you think, and I think most people are.
Okay.
So marketing was always something that, even until early this year, was something that always sort of threw me off, because I thought there was I fell into the trap of thinking there was some sort of secret
sauce.
No, not secret sauce. Like I know there's no secret formula, but I thought if you do certain things in certain orders, I guess I thought there was a template or a recipe or something, and then you just make it yours.
All right.
Like, how everyone's oven cooks a little different.
Yep. So
you have a cookie recipe and they always come out different at your aunt's house than they do at your mom's house, or what the fuck ever. Well, that's what I thought, right? I think there are a few things that you can look at for marketing, and then I've learned over the last year enough to have a marketing company hire me to do some work for them. So I think that qualifies me to speak on it a little bit.
I mean, you could speak on it either way, but it qualifies someone that maybe wants to listen to it a little more.
Right. If someone's like, what the fuck's this guy know about marketing? Well, I work for a marketing company.
A little more than your normal person.
So I think one of the biggest things I see, and I'm relating this to the hair industry, is knowing who you're talking to.
I love that.
That's the first step. Who is your audience? If you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And in the hair world, there are a few different directions. There are many, right? But there are a few different main directions you can go. So are you trying to, like, what is your goal? I need to know that first. So are you a stylist or a salon that is trying to attract clients? And you need to talk to clients. You need to speak in the language that clients will understand. You cannot be on your page talking about I mixed N9 and 8.06 or whatever. Like, no one cares. Your average client doesn't understand what that means.
Right.
You can't be talking about money pieces and all this technical made up BS bullshit.
Or you can. But let me tell you.
No, you can't.
Most people don't really even understand what that is. So when you say money piece, they come in and you think because they saw your page that you're on the same page, and you're not.
Agreed. I just wrote something in our Slack to our staff about, being too technical with clients, because the client doesn't understand on the level that we do what's going on when they sit in the chair, and they shouldn't, in my opinion. So, all right. Now let's flip that. If you're a salon or a stylist that is trying to, I don't know, get likes and engagement from people in the industry, right? Other stylists,
then speak
to those other stylists or barbers or whatever, hair pros. So that's when you would use your formulas and stuff. That's when you would explain the technical stuff.
Agreed.
And even at that point, I would still keep it simple, because you're trying to attract people that aren't where you're at. They're not there yet. So, I don't want to use the word behind, but that's all I have in my head. So they're technically behind you. So don't try to wow and dazzle people with all these fancy words and terms that are just all made up anyways and sort of irrelevant.
Right.
Simplify things.
I think
for
even
people.
The formula situation is always intrigued me, because I could tell you that I put X, Y, and Z on my client's hair. Let's just say I like to educate. So for me, that would make sense to have on my page if that's the audience I was attracting. So let's say I tell you,
right,
I show you
the reason that you talk like that in your audience, and it makes sense, is because your audience is that. Like, right. you go into salons and teach them how to formulate.
And I still
so you need to establish authority in your in your niche.
For sure. But I tread lightly there, because let me tell you this, I could show you a picture and tell you what I put on it, and even tell you the level that I lifted it to. But you didn't see that hair prior to me lifting it. And you didn't see, like, your level 9 and my level 9 might even be different in our head. So you might use my formula and it doesn't come out the same because we didn't lift to the same spot. And then you're like, oh, that sucked. She sucks. No, like, you just weren't in the salon at that time. So you also have to be careful when you start to educate people and make sure you're doing it in a way that you're really, like, guiding them to still be intuitive. That's just my sidebar there.
Yeah. So I think that's the main point. When it comes to marketing, figure out who you're talking to. What is your end goal? Trying to attract clients? Speak to clients. Speak the language that they would speak.
And what client are you trying to attract? Like, literally talk to that one.
Yes, exactly. So we've done shows. We've done articles on creating avatars and things like that. Go through, listen and read and all that stuff. But that would be probably the biggest thing that I think would have the biggest impact on someone's marketing. And it simplifies it.
When you go to post, who are you talking to? That should really help you with how to get that post to be interactive to that person, and how to stop them on your page if you're lucky.
Right. So the next thing that I want to jump into with marketing is brand awareness. So I just wrote an article on brand awareness that I think will be out. It actually will be out the same day that I think this podcast will be out.
Okay.
So brand awareness. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness is like, what is like your favorite brand?
Mine?
Yeah.
Right now it's Evo.
Okay, Evo.
Yep.
And what about that do you like?
I like that they don't take themselves so seriously. Their products are super simple, but they're mostly, if you read their packaging, it's funny and it has no gimmicks to it. It's just, it is what it is, and it'll make you laugh.
Okay. And so how do you know that though?
Well, if you read the packaging, you'll friggin' laugh your ass off first.
So just the packaging? Do they do anything else?
Their tagline is saving ordinary humans from themselves.
How do you know that?
It's everywhere in their marketing.
Where?
It's on their social media. It's on any of the literature you get. It's on the things they send you to put in your windows or on your mirrors.
Gotcha. So, like, let's look at a brand that everyone's going to know, because half of the people listening probably have no clue who the fuck Evo is.
Oh, well, you should check them out. Okay, so then if we're going to go...
So you educate for Evo. So you see it in a different light.
The minute it fell on my plate, I was like, I need to be interactive with this company. Yes.
Right.
But I didn't know they existed before that. So yeah, you're right.
Before someone that doesn't work for them told you about them. Mm-hmm. So their marketing campaigns, right, could probably be better. Not throwing any shade, Evo, just saying, like, I didn't know they existed.
Right.
Let's talk about actual companies now.
Okay.
Let's talk about, like, Coca-Cola.
Oh, we're going that big. Okay, Coca-Cola.
So I just said Coca-Cola. 100% of the people listening to this podcast know Coca-Cola.
I was going to say Coca-Cola Classic.
Right. What do you think of when you think of Coca-Cola?
A red can.
Red can, shape of the bottle, some polar bears playing in the snow. For some reason, I think they do those commercials around, right? What about Nike?
Swoosh.
Just do it. Athletes, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. What about McDonald's?
Arches.
You can be anywhere in the world.
I know. When I was in Australia, when I was in 16, playing basketball,
when you
didn't know I used to shoot some hoops.
16?
When I was 16, shooting some hoops. I think I ate at McDonald's every single day because I was a very picky eater.
Okay. Why?
Because I knew what the food tasted like and I knew I was going to like it.
So this is what I'm getting at. This is the point. Brand awareness is just people knowing and being familiar with your brand. Mm-hmm. And that, when it comes to marketing, is important. Makes sense. Your salon or your small business may never reach a global, presence. That doesn't mean to not take those ideas. It doesn't mean that we're not going to look at those companies and ask ourselves, what do those companies do? And how do they find success? And there are a few things that they do. I think they do brilliantly. One of them is they storytell. Mm-hmm. They constantly tell stories. Nike is always telling stories about athletes. Generally, it's people that are playing from behind, and that draws some sort of emotion out of you. Right. And then you're rooting for the underdog. And then regardless of what you think about Nike, I don't care. You know the story and you feel that way when you see the ads.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So that's what I think people need to do with their businesses, right? Create scenarios, tell stories where people feel like an emotional sort of attachment. They understand your values, what you stand for. That's marketing. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you have to do. I think creating content that tells your own unique story, or creating your own unique content, right? Because we all know the stylists and the barbers and the hair pros, whatever you want to fucking call them, that just share other people's work
constantly.
And so I don't know who you are.
Right.
I don't
even know why you're sharing it. What's the point of it?
Right.
At least tell me why you're sharing it. I've said that before in
to
many
take it
podcasts.
a step further. Yeah.
Put some content as to at least why you think I should look at this, please.
Right. If you're just sharing stuff like other people's work, I have no idea who you are, what you stand for, what your work is, what you believe in, what you value. I know the other people though, and I'm following you and you're telling me to go to them. So I'm going to go to them.
Right.
So that's a mistake. Stop being a consumer and start being a creator.
That's a really good point.
Thanks. So some other stuff you can do for brand awareness, right? Get out in your community.
Yeah.
There's an easy one. Take your logo, your brand, and get it in front of more eyes. How can you do that? I don't know. Maybe your town has a softball league. They're looking for sponsors. You can be on the shirts or on the banners. Who knows?
We put ours at the library.
Yeah.
We help
we're a
with summer
sponsor.
program.
We're a reading partner, summer reading partner at the library, our local library. So our logo is going to be at the library all summer for everyone to see. Brand awareness.
McDonald's is on that too.
The local McDonald's is on that because they're smart, right? So the last thing I want to say about, marketing and brand awareness is that actually I have some other notes on marketing that we'll jump into quickly, but the consistency piece.
Always.
You have to stay consistent. Mm-hmm. So these companies that are out in front of you constantly, right? Mac, Apple, right? You know, everyone has an iPhone. Whatever. We've already gone over them. They're consistent.
Yeah.
They're not posting once and then
And
disappearing.
you can pick, I always say this, and we coach to this, like, you can pick your own consistency for yourself. So if you're going to,
No, you have that backwards, and I'm going to correct you.
how would you say that?
You can pick your frequency.
Frequency.
Frequency and consistency, I think people try to redefine what consistency is. So people think consistency means you have to post every day. No, that would be frequency. Consistency means you do that over and over again. For example, if I choose to post once a week, I need to make sure I'm posting once a week. That's my consistency.
Yeah, that's what I was going
My
with.
frequency is once a week.
It sounds the same to me, but
It's not. I
believe
promise you.
anyone who agrees
You
with me,
don't
comment below.
Stop telling people to comment.
It sounds similar to me, but I was going to say, if once a week is where you can like align with and you're like, I can commit to this, once a week is enough for you. Just make sure you do it every single week. And then as you get going,
You threw in that last part because I gave you it.
this is what I was going to
Calling
say.
you out.
It's what I was going to say.
She's lying. If you agree with me, comment below.
I'm going to get more comments. I'm cuter.
Where are people commenting?
I have no idea.
Podcasts don't have comments, do they?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
All right.
They should.
So everything these days is digital marketing. Mm-hmm. Everything is online, right? And that's great. That's the world we live in. We're on our phones. We're on our computers. Yeah. We're it's constant. It's digital. But what can we pull from traditional marketing? Because they were successful for like a minute, man. Like I'm talking about newspapers.
I was like, mail-outs?
TV, yeah, mail-outs, all that stuff. Like what do they show us? I just had a couple notes before we move on and sort of wrap up the show. But so think about old school, right? I thought about this the other day when I was writing.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Talking about consistency.
Or frequency?
Nope. Talking about consistency here, right? And frequency. Let's put them both together.
Let's confuse us all. Everyone who thinks like me.
No, so think about, I think it was weekly, but let's look at the TV guide. Remember the TV guide?
Yep. Loved it. Couldn't wait for it to come in. And it was weekly.
It was weekly, right?
Had to be. Yeah.
Okay. So their frequency was weekly. Mm-hmm. You would get this book in the mail, and it would tell you what was on television. There's no fucking guides. Right?
I mean, I remember that.
Crazy thinking back in the day. Yeah, there were
and they had crossword puzzles in the back.
So sure, yeah. The consistency was like every week. I don't. What day did it come out on? It must have came out the prior week.
I'm gonna assume you got it on Saturday for Sunday. I don't know.
I don't
remember.
I'm not that old. I was a little kid, but I remember them being around.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know that people were like expecting that shit. Like they looked forward to it.
Yeah.
Because it was consistent. So it could have come out every day, but it didn't need to come out every day. It came out once a week.
Yeah.
But because they were consistent, TV Guide showed us that consistency is that important. Mm-hmm. And you had whole households, I'm sure, sitting around waiting for the fucking TV Guide to come in so that they knew what time, Family Matters was on or whatever show back in the day.
I want to do a podcast on just like reminiscing about old things.
Well, you go ahead and do that. Find someone and go ahead and set it up.
I don't know how to do that stuff.
So
just show up to this one.
The other traditional marketing thing that I want to sort of point out is newspapers.
Yeah.
What did newspapers teach us? Or what do I?
Frequency and consistency?
No.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. But I was thinking about the hook. They taught us about headlines.
Oh.
Grabbing attention. So when you're creating your post, right, that you're going to consistently post, whatever frequency you've decided, what are you using to hook people in? It's important.
Very.
So look to the past and the people that have already done it and been successful.
And then innovate with that.
And then, yes. Yeah. Just try to take their ideas and build off of them.
That's a really good point, Todd. I'm proud of you for that one.
So TV Guide and newspapers, right? Traditional marketing.
You got a TV Guide at your house. Drop it off at Hello Hairco. I want to see one.
I'm sure a lot of people have them. They probably collect. I guarantee you people collect those things from back in the day. Do they still have TV Guide? There's no way.
I highly doubt it.
They might. I don't know.
I don't know.
They have
Some grandparent
Do they have
might have
National
one.
Geographic? Some
The
grandparent.
magazine?
Yeah.
We get it for the kids.
No, we get a little kids version.
Yeah.
You remember that cool thick magazine that would come?
See, now you're reminiscing. We could have a podcast on reminiscing.
Just kidding. All right, so let's close out with I want to talk about defining success.
Yes.
Let's start with a quote, because quotes are always fun. So I saw this recently, and I looked it up, and there are all sorts of different variations to this. So if anyone actually knows, do not call me out. I'm being honest. I don't know exactly what Winston fucking Churchill said. But Winston Churchill was credited by saying something like, success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Nice. And I was like, that's pretty dope.
Super true.
Yeah. That's how he defined success, because, in his position, I'm sure he got beat down all the time. There's always bad shit happening when you're a world leader.
Yeah. And as a business owner, I mean, you're going to go through fails daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Like, it truly is like who gets back up, gets excited, innovates, restructures their mindset, and finds a different way to do it.
Yep. Agreed. So what I wanted people to think about was what success meant to them.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah, I can't define it for
yours,
you.
mine, ours is similar, but still different on ways that I feel about being successful versus you. So it's very important for you to define that for yourself, whether you have a partnership or not.
Do you have a definition of success
that I could just
Yeah.
spit out now?
Yeah.
Not so sure on the spot. I could.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
I feel like this year was more, my success was based on personal and business goals I had for myself, which I'm currently crushing. So I'm feeling successful within that.
Great. So
if that defines that enough.
So you would maybe say that you know it when you feel it, sort of thing? You have goals and stuff. You're not just shooting into the breeze or whatever. But
my goals this year were really...
Shooting into the breeze? Is that even a sentence?
See, I don't even pick on you for it, because it doesn't matter, because I have lots of those. So for me, success this year was really, I set out some personal goals. I set out some business goals that I was hoping that I would get to. Some of them, as I know, Todd, and I'll shout out to Meg, can relate to. One scared the living fuck out of me. And it's something that I had as a personal and business goal for the last couple of years, really as we opened Hello. And those two pushed me to do that. And I was super proud of myself, but super proud that I had people that would lift me up, and knew that me being scared was getting in my own way, and that I could do it, but I just couldn't get myself around it. So all of the goals I set out for myself this year, I have hit, which makes me feel successful, and would have if I had at the end of the year too. But the fact that I did it in the first 6 months of this year, I feel really excited. And now I have a new set of goals for the second half of the year.
I just want to say, you weren't going to do it in the first half of the year. You literally tried to push it into the second half of the year. But Meg and I were...
I gave you a shout out.
The three of us were on a phone call together.
I know.
And I was like, I need to take this in a different direction. The phone call...
was for Meg's coaching call.
And she was like, do it. Go. I knew she was cracking her knuckles at home, like, do it. And we just talked about... And she ran the class with you. So that's why... That's why it worked out. But... that's great. Yeah. So I think we definitely can't answer what success means to you. If you're listening, you have to define that for yourself. So how do you do that? Think about what you're after. Like, what are your goals? What are your ambitions? Where do you want to be in the future? And do the steps that you're currently taking put you closer, further, or are they irrelevant? Are you in the same place? Because I've been guilty of that one, where I've done a bunch of stuff, but not moved forward toward my goal. And so when I had my gym, for example, I did a whole bunch of things that were really cool and fun, and they helped people. But then when I look back, I'm like, well, that didn't get me any closer to my goals.
My last salon, same thing. I had a lot of fun in certain aspects, but it never got me where I wanted to be with owning a salon at all.
Right.
So yeah, just different. For me, I guess it's goal setting, and then hitting those goals makes me feel successful.
Yeah, some of my, I don't have them in front of me, but some of my current goals include continuing to build our team, creating a profitable business, proving that our model works. And we're pretty close to all that stuff. We're profitable. I don't know if we can prove the method. Like, I don't exactly know how to do that. I guess I proved it to myself. It's working, right? So like, I haven't sat down and thought about like a mid-length goal of like how long, like, is it sustainable? Can we step out of it? Things like that, like the next level of questions. That's where we'll go in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Right. So we're not quite there yet, but yeah, I'd say we're reaching those. But if you're listening and you're like, I'm not sure like, how do I figure this out? I don't know. What's important to you? Is money important to you? Is time important to you? Maybe. So if money's important to you, it should be pretty easy. Like, you're after profit. I'm not talking about your paycheck, your salary. I'm talking about profit that's left in your
Very
business
different.
after. Two different things. Is time important to you? Maybe time with your family is important to you. Can you take time? Right? That would be success if you can take time.
And part of it is starting just laying out some personal and business goals to figure out what, if you can't figure out, like when you just asked me, like, I can't define success at the moment, but yeah, I guess when I come back to it, it's my personal goals and my business goals and hitting them and feeling accomplished within that. So if you can start laying out some of those, and a lot of times you'll need accountability, because you can say you're going to do something, but then it's a month, 2 months, 3 months, and before you know it, it's next year and you haven't made any progress.
Right. The last two things I had on my list right here to think about was maybe influence is important to you. You know, maybe you want to build a following on social media that is X number of followers on X or Y platform, you know, and that will help you launch a different business or whatever, or gain your audience. I don't know. Maybe celebrity is important. Maybe you want to be some, I don't know, celebrity in whatever field you're in. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably in the hair world, but if you're not, like, maybe you want to be known, you know, outside of your
current world.
outside of your, like, your business. I see a lot of, we can
your industry.
We can wrap this up, but I see a lot of people posting on Instagram that they're like a like famous what do they have up on top where it says like public figure? It'll
Didn't we have that for a while to be funny?
I had image consultant.
Oh, that's what it was. Public figure.
Yeah, but I've seen people write public figure, and no one like, most of the people in this industry don't know you, and no one out of this industry knows you. You're not a public figure. Sorry to break the news, but anyways, if celebrity was important and you wanted to be a public figure, like,
then you need to
what does that look like? I don't know. You're trying to get into your local politics. We talked about this the other day with the team and some people we had in our salon. Shout out Christian and Johnny and Tina. But I don't know what your goals are, but if you figure
truly
them out,
it's yours, because celebrity to you and celebrity to the person sitting next to you, different type of celebrities. Like, you got to figure out whatever it is that you want to be. Like, you're right. Like, define that for you. And pause for a minute when you define it. And make sure, go back. Is that really what you're thinking?
Right.
Really
that's the most important thing is to just make it yours. You have to own it. And if you
be authentic, please.
If you own it, no one can take it from you.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else you have?
No, that was great.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Ping pong.
I'm not from the South. I just felt like doing that. And we'll see how this episode turns out, because we're recording in the evening. It's almost 9 p.m. And we've had a long day.
Long. But have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. No call to action. Don't get on our email list or anything like that. All right? Bye.